touchdown of this Super Bowl, and a long one at that. And the Chiefs get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. So a long play for our first points in the Super Bowl.
No doubt about it, and what we see here is something that we saw all year long from them. The ability to strike from anywhere on the field. How about the way they got it started in this one?
They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he is not going to make it. They stop him up short, and this will remain a 6-0 ball game. Boy, so they don't get the conversion, but they're going to go right into the onside kick formation. Escapes the defender. And the 49er hands team does its job.
Illegal touching. Offense.
Yeah, we saw that one up here, CD. Offensive team, they touched that before it went 10 yards.
Obviously such a fine line, letting it go the required 10 yards, but also getting to it before the hands team can. Just didn't time it out right, and that results in a flag.
Down at the 35, it'll be second down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. Again, McCaffrey. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 50. And we are back and ready to go for the second quarter of the Super Bowl. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, as always, thrilled to be with you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. McCaffrey. And the pressure gets to McCaffrey as they stop him short of the line to gain. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And his kick here is good. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So from an offensive perspective, at least able to get on the board here right in front of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about complementary football, isn't it? Because if the defense can force a 3 and out, there could be enough time on the clock that they can get the ball back for their offensive guys and maybe put some more points on the board before the half.
Pushing his way through. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. And out come the Chiefs now. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Delay of game. Offense.
Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback because everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have one.
On the counter, it's Henry. And he works free. Still fighting through tackles. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Chiefs are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So a designed run all the way, and he took it the distance. I don't know that anybody saw that coming.
Well, on this play, how about the vision of him, being able to see the open field, make his move, and get there. Oftentimes, defenses have a spy for the quarterback position to try and take care of it. On that play, if they did, it certainly
He's
didn't
lost.
work. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Andy Reid never one to shy away from taking chances. He'll go for two. They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he will get into the end zone. So the lead stretches from 9 up to 11. And I guess that makes up for the earlier missed two-point try here to get him to 14.
Yeah, that aggressiveness, it reminds me a lot of when basketball first adopted the three-point shot. People were starting to realize that 3 for 2 was really starting to work for them. In this case now, maybe the 2 for 1 is coming into play in the NFL.
Boy, I guess they're going to keep trying to put the pedal to the metal here. They're going to try an onside kick. And the 49er hands team does its job. A second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things and it won't come back and hurt them later.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reid. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
Andy, you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Now on first down, it's Purdy. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Purdy looking to throw. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Third down, here's McCaffrey. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. And he's going to lose yardage, not that it matters, as the final seconds tick away. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the this first half. So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports Halftime Report. We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward. Both teams making their final adjustments of the season during this long halftime break. Who will claim the Lombardi Trophy? To find out, we go back to Brandon and Charles in Vegas for the second half of Super Bowl 58.
And the 49er hands team does its job. But gutsy call there. You exit the locker room with a lead. Tried the onside kick. It didn't work.
And you just wonder what the gain was there. They were already in the lead. They were in control of the game. They may have given momentum now to their opponent and maybe kickstarted things going in the opposite direction.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get them about 5 yards.
Well, they still have time to get them established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Play action. Now Purdy. This one caught by Kittle. And so close, he gets it to the one. Out of bounds right there. What a play that turns out to be. 36 yards.
That's the kind of play this offense desperately needed. They've got to be saying, our defense has kept us in the ballgame. We're down, but we're certainly not out. And maybe that was the spark that they've been...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That'll be a big loss on the play there. An absolute disaster, really. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Chiefs are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line.
As they started that drive, I think they looked at the scoreboard and said, this is a manageable deficit, guys, but let's go ahead and start cutting it down right here. Instead, an interception happened, so a two-possession game might become three. So as we get going here in the second half, this could rapidly reach the point where there isn't enough time left for a comeback if their defense doesn't bail them out.
But he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. That really sets him back, a loss of 6. Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. They'll try the right side with Henry. There he goes. Racing to the end zone. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Patrick Mahomes with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Chiefs will extend their 3rd quarter lead here in this Super Bowl. Well, plays like that make the O coordinator look like a genius, but I don't think he saw that play going that well.
No, I don't think so either, but boy, it all worked out perfectly. They caught them in the right defense, guys dropping off into coverage, their eyes averted somewhere else, and guess what? He filled the void with his legs.
Andy Reid never one to shy away from taking chances. He'll go for 2. They'll try and run it in with Henry. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Purdy off the play fake. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
We are through 3 quarters of play here from Allegiant Stadium in Super Bowl 58. And there's just 1 quarter that remains in this edition of the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl, as we get set for the 4th quarter. Here's Purdy now on 3rd and goal. And the Chiefs are going to get it. And that'll bring up 4th down on a big sack with a loss of 5. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this thing. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Patrick Mahomes with a record 4th Super Bowl touchdown tonight. And the Chiefs are feeling good as they extend their lead in this Super Bowl. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And the 49er hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Back to the air on 2nd down, Purdy. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now Purdy. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Purdy, big 4th down play. And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. Picked up by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Chiefs are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Considering they've seen him have some big gains against him throughout this game, that's got to feel like a measure of revenge as they trap him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
They'll try and choose some clock with Henry. Oh, he shifts past him. And that's going to be a Chiefs 1st down as he'll take this up to about the 33-yard line.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, that'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. So now then, the big loss sets up 2nd and 19. Henry running right. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Keeps himself upright, dancing to his left. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions. And their remarkable season ends in the most remarkable of ways. They get to put next to their name, Super Bowl champion.
And they can't ever take that away, can they?
Nope.
That lasts forever. So good to see the emotion when it's all said and done. You see the hugs, you see the guys sharing, the collective happiness. Makes me want to carry you around a little bit on my shoulders to celebrate the triumph. And congratulations to them, a fantastic season.